innocent brew. Big G's here to put the world right. It's Big G's Rant of the Week.
Always helps if I put on the microphone. Yes, that would help me. And now I'm setting myself on fire. Good evening, guys, and welcome to the show. This is the first time I'm trying to broadcast to four different platforms. And yes, can things go wrong here tonight? Possibly could go wrong. But who knows? So I'm just going to check where I am at. Where I am at. Hold on. I've got echoes and everything going on. Yes, and good evening. I've got to check yous all on here. To Jason Hughes, who has joined us, and Ivan. Yes, good evening, guys. Yeah, it's all a bit confusing. When you go to 3 different places, it's all a bit all over the place, to be honest with you guys. So anyway, let me tell you a bit about the show. If you have never ever heard it before, this is called Big G's Rant of the Week, or Gary D, whatever you want to call me. Gary's good enough. And no, I was not late. Who said I was late? Ivan said I was late. Yeah, and what we do is we just try to get together once a week for an hour, and us guys just have a chat, really. Just have a chat and see what has been going on in the world in the last week, and we can have a good old moan up about it if we want to. Yeah, we tend to have a good old moan up about it. And yeah, it's just about letting off a little bit of steam, guys. So we are obviously live on Reach On Air, a brilliant, absolutely brilliant radio station. And good evening to Tracy, who's just joined us. And we're also on Twitch. So if you've got the Twitch app, it's under Gary D1310. It's absolutely free to download, and the same as Mixcloud. We are on Mixcloud as well, which is the same. It's Gary D1310. You've got to look up. Or if you are a YouTuber, you can watch it under Gary's Life. What is it? Gary's Life 72. Sorry, I had to remember there for a second. Gary's Life 72. I've only been doing it about 5 months on there. But yeah, so how has everyone's week been since last week? Yes, my weekend, I was at a family wedding, and in that absolute heat, 30 degrees. As I said, I think I told people on my other show that it was an outside wedding, and it's the first time ever I've done an outside wedding. So yes, the heat roasted everybody. It was absolutely roasting everybody. So everybody was running for the bushes. I know that sounds awful, doesn't it? But running to hide for shade and things like that. And yeah, it was. So it all started. Everyone sat down, and it was all having fun, and it was all chatting, and then all of a sudden the sweating started, and people went, "Do you know what? I'm just going to pop over there and stand under that tree, or I'm going to go over there and stand under that bush, wherever you want to go, anywhere they could find shade." So the whole chairs were all empty until about 2 minutes before the bride was about to walk down the aisle, and then everyone come rushing back. The funniest part was they give us bags of confetti to throw over the happy couple after they was finished. And I did have to remind people sorry, that you had to take it out of the packet first. Yes, I was looking at people looking very confused, and I thought, you need to take it out of the packet first before you throw it. And yeah, there was a few that was possibly would have just chucked the plastic bag at them. But what can you say? There are still people in this world that do things like that. So yeah, that was pretty much my weekend. But the problem is, I couldn't drink, and I feel so bad about it because of my nephew. I love him, I adore him. He's great. And yes, I have said it in the past. His wife is stunning, absolutely stunning looking girl. And yes, Peter, if you happen to ever hear this, as I said it before, you are punching, son. You are punching. You've obviously got something going for you that I haven't, that makes you get a woman like that. Get a woman like that. And they've been together a long time. I think 19 years. 19 years before they got married. Crazy, isn't it? They met as teenagers. Absolutely fantastic. Fantastic day. But as I said, I was feeling a bit guilty because I couldn't drink because of the back problems, painkillers, stuff like that. And if I'd have drunk, I would have just been asleep in 5 minutes. And yeah, but all was good fun. So guys, if you have, leave my personal story behind there. If you have anything you wish to talk about, as I say, guys, feel absolutely free to message in. It's not a problem. We can change subjects and things like that. That is not a problem. So the one thing for me, there was something for me. It was just funny. If it wasn't so sad, it would be funny. And I just wanted to bring up, so, people who don't quite tell the truth. Let's put it that way. Don't quite tell the truth. And they bend things. Like I've got to say, I've got friends that do it. And there's one, I'm not going to say his name, it's not fair, who will tell a story, and he will embellish it. He will embellish it a bit. And the story just gets bigger and bigger every time he tells it. And after time, like obviously when I'm talking to it, involves me. And I'm like, was I there? You're telling a story about me? Was I there? I don't remember that. But yeah. And then obviously you've got the nasty ones that will take a little story, run with it, and just really, really try to make you look bad. But we've all got these people in our lives, I suppose. We've all got these kind of people in our lives. But there is this one story that's come out over the last week. I don't know if you've heard about it. So, as I say, we've all met them. You know the type. Yes, and I've got some stuff written down because legal reasons, I have to be incredibly careful. The fishing trips get bigger every time they tell it. The holiday becomes more glamorous. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. So what we're talking about. I shouldn't laugh because it's so bad. Well, I'm going to introduce you, if you don't know, to Professor Jason Arday. Remember, we are just talking about people who embellish the truth. And this guy, well, as I said, I've got to be careful. He's, let's just say his story's a little bit unbelievable, but it could be true. It could be true. I've got to let you make the decision on that one. So on paper, this man sounds absolutely extraordinary. Right? Absolutely extraordinary. In 2023, he became Cambridge University's youngest black professor. His colour doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. But yeah, they said he's the black professor. His personal story is remarkable. Remarkable is an understatement. He said he couldn't speak until he was 11 years old and couldn't read or write until he was 18. Now, I'm sure he was brought up in the UK. I'm sure that would have been pulled up somewhere. And he went on to become an academic specialising in race equality and social mobility. Right, that all sounds fine. It's a stretch, but it still sounds fine. And his story was covered in all the media. So he appeared, as I say, I've got to read some of this because I don't want to get it wrong. He appeared on BBC Radio's 4 Lent Talk, became a guest editor of Today, appeared on Question Time on the BBC and Sunday with Laura Kingsburg, and was interviewed by Krishnam Guri Murthy, isn't it? If I said his name right. Probably not. But yes, he was on the Channel 4, on American TV too. And at this point, you might still be going, Gary, what are you going on about? But yeah, let's get on with it. So everyone's, blimey, what an inspirational man this is. Yes, and fantastic. And then someone started checking on him. And this is where things get interesting. Yes, this is where it gets. So Ohio State University, yes, obviously in America, Ohio State University, Jason Arday, was described as having been a visiting professor there. Visiting for what reason? I don't know. But yes, he's a visiting professor. Problem is, Ohio State says it has no record of him holding that position. So Ohio State University have no idea what he's talking about. Remember, he's a Cambridge University professor. So this is on his CV, and they have no idea what the hell he is talking about. So then we go on to Birkbeck. Yes. Good evening to Jason, son. And he's gone, oh my God, Mr. Bear. Yes, I am here. I am here. He went on to then go to Birkbeck, reportedly. Sorry, I shouldn't be laughing. Arday said he had completed a master's in psychodynamic practices and subsequently become a qualified counsellor. So now he's a qualified counsellor. This guy who couldn't read when he was 11, he couldn't speak till he was 11, couldn't read and write till he was 18, but now he is a qualified counsellor. Okay, it could happen. It could happen. So yeah, I am not judging. This is for you listeners out there. If you decide your opinion on it is basically your opinion on it. Birkbeck University reportedly found no record of him studying there. Are we starting to smell it? Are we starting to smell it? And again, I'm not accusing of anything. Yes, it's the woke thing. Yes, Ivan is saying the woke thing is coming out. Right. So, Palgrave Macmillan, book publishers. Arday was credited with publishing a book called Being Young, Black and Male, Challenging the Dynamic Discourse. The publishers say the book was never published. Okay, so now we're starting to think, well, that's starting to get interesting. Yeah, remember, as I keep saying, Cambridge University professor. This is someone who is a Cambridge University professor, right? And as I said, guys, you might know people like this. You might know people. They might be absolutely harmless. Absolutely harmless. No harm is meant. But this is on a person's CV who got the job at Cambridge University. Sorry. Yes, a good friend of mine, Nicky, if he happens to be watching, said, Gary, try drinking through a straw because you keep dripping it all over yourself when you drink it out of a glass. Yes. So I've took your advice, mate. I am drinking. If people don't know what I'm talking about, I've just had a sip of drink. And yes, through a straw, as my good friend Nicky told me to. So, right. So we've gone from the two universities, never heard of him. The Palgrave Macmillan publishers, don't know what he's talking about. The book was never published. Well, he might know what he's talking about. He might have sent a manuscript, a bit like my joke book, never got back to him. Okay, so this is where it gets interesting. But he's still, well, up to recently, he's still a Cambridge professor at Cambridge University. So let's move on to his sporting CV. Yeah, I'm sure we've all done it. We have all done it. You know, when you've got your sports, your CV. Yes, I've done this, I've done that. You embellish a little bit. I get it, because you're trying to sell yourself. I get it. So, apparently, on this CV, it said he runs 600 miles in 6 days. I don't think I've even driven 600 miles in 6 days. But, yes, extraordinary feat for a guy who couldn't speak till he was 11, couldn't read and write till he was 18, become a college professor at Cambridge University, and is a sporting legend. 600 miles in 6 days, guys. Yes, 6 days. And then apparently, after someone done a check, They changed it to 600 miles in 12 days. That's still impressive though, isn't it, guys? That is still really, really impressive. Is he on crack? I don't know what he's on, mate. Yeah, says Ivan, is he on crack? So, but it's just, you know, he said, because I was saying about the CV, people embellish it a little bit to make themselves sound better. But even changing it from 6 days to 12 days is still a bit like, really? Really? Okay. Tracy, you going where I'm going. I think you know what I'm talking about. And then there was a claim, oh, this is a classic. This is a classic. Now, I've done, I'm sure I have told you, and this isn't a lie, this is the truth, and I'll be on God's honest truth with you. I done Brighton Marathon maybe 8 years ago, which is 26 miles, or if you're talking in kilometres, about 42 kilometres. At the time, when I went past people and they was going, is this your first marathon? I was saying to them, and my last, I will never do this again. And they said, no, you will. I'll tell you what, guys, I have never done it since. That is tough. I don't care what anyone says. Running a marathon is tough, especially when you're my size, 18.5 stone, and running 26 miles. It took me about 6 hours. I've got to be honest. It took me about 6 hours to do it. But it was for a charity dear to my heart because of a personal incident that happened. So it was for London Air Ambulance, who do amazing work here in London. So yeah, if you have a spare, if you live in London and got a spare fiver, sling it their way. We ain't got to the walk in the water yet. So anyway, I found one marathon incredibly tough to do. Incredibly tough. So then there was the claim. He managed 30 marathons in 35 days. Yeah, amazing. He is an absolutely amazing athlete, I've got to say. So this guy couldn't talk till he was 11. Couldn't read and write till he was 18. Got all these things at university. Run 600 miles in 6 days. And they'd done 30 marathons in 35 days. But that's not the end of that. That is not the end of that. He apparently claimed he suffered a seizure and a hairline fracture to his leg while doing these marathons, but carried on and completed another 9 marathons after the seizure and the hairline fracture in his leg. Anyone ever had a hairline fracture? It doesn't sound a lot. But I have from playing football, and you know, I had it in my foot, ankle, things like that. And that's just my foot and ankle, that's not my leg. And I don't think I could have done another 9 marathons. What does that work out to? It's near on 200 miles running on a fracture in your leg. But that's his account. That is his account. God, I'm just... Oh. So anyway, so we've got the 30 marathons in 35 days. 9 of them run on a fracture in his leg. He's fractured his leg. But it's a question. It's in question. It's not conclusively disproved. It's not conclusively disproved, guys. So we can't say you're full of it, because it's just a suspicion that maybe it's not true. That maybe it's not true. But it's just a suspicion, because of personal experience from doing a marathon myself, and I was supposedly fully fit, a bit overweight. Yes, I was a bit overweight when I'd done it, but could I have done it with a hairline fracture in my leg 9 more times? Not a chance in hell. Yes, and I was saying Mo Farah couldn't, if he'd do that many. No, Mo Farah couldn't, and Mo Farah is an elite athlete. Or was, should I say, he's retired now. Yeah. He's also saying, I thought you eat marathons. How old are you, Ivan? When was the last time they were called marathons? And they're called Snickers now. They're called Snickers. Snickers. one or the other. So I think you're giving away your age there. Oh dear. Right, so we've gone to that. So we can't disprove, because it's not been disproven. You can't prove it. He might have. So then, he's, as I said, couldn't speak till he was 11, couldn't read and write till he was 18, become the youngest black professor at Cambridge University, run 600 miles in 6 or 12 days, then done 30 marathons in 35 days. Yes, you're not 37 like me. I know that. So he's run 30 marathons in 35 days with a hairline fracture and after a seizure. Do you think the doctor might have said to him, when you're doing things like this, surely you get checkups? Surely you get checkups. And the doctor would have said, I'd advise you to stop. This is not worth it. So absolute legend. And his athletes, I don't think there's athletes in this world that will be as good as him or as clever as him. That would be a struggle. This is like he should be wearing a cape and his underwear outside of his trousers. That's what I'm making out of it so far. I want to meet it. It's such a legend. And not only does he do that, he is the charitable type as well. The charitable type. Does this guy's talents ever end? Do they ever end? Then he claimed he raised more than £5 million for charity. Yes, £5 million for charity. Wow. As I say, when I done it with family, so it was a family thing when I done the Brighton Marathon with family, we raised about £2,000 or £2,500, something like that. But he managed 5 million. But then, even if I'm doing the maths, how many was he sponsored for each marathon to do that? I just really don't know. But then that question... So then that was questioned as well. And then all of a sudden, it wasn't him alone. It wasn't. Oh, they said, no. I didn't mean just me. He was involved in a much larger group rather than the money he personally raised alone. Can he raise the Titanic? Probably. This man can do anything, I am telling you. This man can do anything. So now we're at the 5 million charity. And as I said, guys, I am not saying anything about it not being true. It could all be true. But I will let you, make your own opinion on it. So he raised £5 million for charity. And then he done it in a larger group. So I suppose it's a bit like if I donated a tenner to... I'm just throwing it out there. If I threw a tenner into children in need, does that mean that I raised all the money that children in need raised? Oh, we figured it could be along them lines? Maybe. So again, it's disputed rather than declared as false. No, I'm not saying it's false. I'm just saying this guy is absolutely amazing. It's got to be a knighthood coming, isn't there? There has to be a knighthood. Then not just that, then he went on to volunteer for WaterAid. Arday described overseas work involving installing water points for WaterAid. Again, what a guy. WaterAid says it doesn't send volunteers abroad to carry out that sort of work. I can say, Cambridge University, what were you thinking? Surely you've read this and gone, we need to check this. Surely. But again, it all could be true. Right. So WaterAid don't send volunteers abroad. But then things got a little bit serious with him. And this should never happen to anyone. And as I said, all jokes aside on this one. Oh, Nicky, so you get me to drink through a straw and everyone can hear me slurping. Yeah. Right. Something quite dramatic happened to him at the university. Arday says that he was confronted by a masked man at his facility building, and during one instant the man produced a knife and threatened him. Now that's not on, guys. I've got to say, you can be jealous of all the achievements this man has done. He's had an amazing life, you know, as we said. Couldn't speak till he was 11. Couldn't read and write till he was 18. Run 600 miles in 6 days. 30 marathons in 35 days with a fractured legs and seizures. Then raised £5 million on his own, but then turned out to be in a group. Then he put things in for WaterAid. Do you think he might have been scammed? Someone was pretending they were WaterAid and just sent him out there. Is that possible? I'm trying to find a way to help you, Jason, but I don't think it's happening. I don't think it's happening, mate. I don't think it's happening. So, yes. So you could be jealous of all that, but it is not on to go and threaten a man twice with a knife. That is not on. You know, so obviously in a university, there was CCTV at the building. But magically enough, let's say it right, Gary, CCTV did not see anything twice. Not captured on camera. No one was captured on camera. No one. And nobody reported at the facility seeing anyone suspicious. Yeah. So we got absolutely no one there. See anything. CCTV did not see anything. And yes, it was reported to the police. And then, as I said, we're not saying. Yes, so it's just saying we're saying the claim couldn't be independently sustained by a CCTV or witness. So basically, no one see anything. So that was a bit harsh. You know, the Scarlet Pimpernel. No, don't say that, Gary. That's harsh. Because I can't say if it's not true. I was going to say the Scarlet Pimpernel or Flash or someone has shot in there, threatened him and shot back out. But he was so fast that the CCTV didn't catch him or any witnesses. And then there was another thing. This is really, really bad. If this happened, Jason, if this really happened, I'm very sorry this happened to you. Arday said a severed pig's head had been left at his parents' home and the police had investigated. Yes, so what that's about, I don't know why someone would take a severed pig head and leave it at his parents' home. I don't know what the meaning. If any of you know what the meaning of a severed pig's head means, I know what a severed horse's head means because I've seen The Godfather. Yes, it's do as we want or we'll chop your horse's head off. But a pig's head, I'm not too sure about. So I don't want to say nothing. And as I said, obviously reported to the police. These are two things he's had happen to him. This has been reported to the police. And the Metropolitan Police has reportedly said it had no record of such an investigation. And as I said, you guys out there listening, and it sounds like I am just waffling on about this guy, and I'm really, really not trying to be horrible to him. I'm trying to be balanced. So I am telling you what he is saying his achievements are, and what other people are suggesting may not be close to that honest. Can I say that? Honest. And as I said, anything said on the show, guys, is just our opinions. It is just our opinion. Yes, and Tracy's saying pig's head, severed pig's head is a hate symbol, and Ivan is saying voodoo, and I don't know a lot about voodoo. I know what voodoo is, but as I say, it's not something I've ever thought about putting a pig's head at someone's house. Maybe the horse's head is possible, but yeah. So the police have no record of such an incident here. And as I say, I am being as balanced as I possibly can here, guys. I am being as balanced as I possibly can without laughing too much. You know, because it is a sad state of affairs. One of the top universities in the UK and known across the world so well that they even have a boat race. They even have a boat race with the other one once a year. That's how famous they are in this country. Up the Thames. And people get excited by it, but yeah, Cambridge University. And as I say, Cambridge University, I'm not accusing you of anything. So if you take any of this as accusations, they are not. I am just reading what I have found out over the last few days. So, yes, don't hold me to it. Check the Tinternet. Check the Tinternet. Right, guys. And I think Tracy mentioned this earlier. So we're going to move on to this part of it. So we go straight away, as this was written on here. Hang on, which all of you out there are saying. Has anybody actually checked this CV? Is there a reason why they didn't check it? Is there a reason to why they didn't check it? Why is this person the poster boy? Why has he got onto TV, done all these chats, made all these claims, but no one has actually checked? Why is that? That has to be the question, doesn't it? Doesn't it? Or am I wrong? I could be wrong. But yes, you just have to make your own opinions on that one, guys. And then we get to the PhD. Yes, Tracy, you did mention this earlier. Arday's 401-page doctoral thesis was compared with an earlier thesis by someone called Paula. Let me hopefully get this right. And as I said, I'm only reading what is available on Tinternet. Paula Swazdiak Myers. Paula Swazdiak Myers. An analysis report by the Telegraph, so that very, very well-known newspaper, identified more than 100 passages that were identical or nearly identical. So Arday, in his thesis, had over 100 passages that were identical or nearly identical to Paula Swazdiak Myers' thesis. Right? That is, I would say, a conservative estimate, because another analyst had reportedly 188 identical or highly similar sentences. Right. So we've got that. So what are you thinking? What are you thinking, guys? What are you thinking? Or is it even worth me asking that question? Because I think I know what you are thinking. I know what you are thinking, guys. So then we go on. Right, so this is the chances of this happening, right? As one statistical analyst put the probability of those particular words matching occurring by chance at roughly, are you ready for it? Roughly 1 in 100 billion. That's 1 in 100 billion for them matches to be that close. Those figures are analysts supporting an allegation They are not the university's finding, or are they? That the university findings that Arday committed did not find he committed plagiarism. Even with that fact, alleged fact, 100 passages, the conservative estimate to 188 in another estimate, and a 1 in 100 billion chance of them being that close to each other. But Cambridge University didn't find Arday committed plagiarism. They didn't. Arday denies deliberate plagiarism. He denies it. He said it didn't happen. He didn't do it. He didn't do it. But this is an explanation, guys. So this is an explanation. See, Jason, I am still trying to defend you, mate. I am still trying to, and I'm trying to be balanced. I am trying to be balanced here, guys. Trying to absolutely balance what I am saying. And when it came to the plagiarism allegations, Arday explained the explanation was that some of his mistakes were connected to his autism. Yes, he has autism as well. A tendency to learn through mimicry. So he learns from copying. He says he didn't deliberately plagiarise, which brings us back to the central question: where does innocent copying end and plagiarism begin? Ready for HR Ockup. I think that's what you're saying. HR Ockup. Yes, HR. God, don't talk to me about HR at the minute. Oh, well, that's a whole nother story. But that might be something I can talk about in a few months' time. Maybe. But just not yet. So, yes. So he says because of his autism, he learns through mimicry. So just copying. I'm sure we all done it at school, you know. When you first started writing words, I don't know if you've done it. At Thornhill School, I used to do this. Thornhill School is a primary school in central London, where me and Tracy are from. And, you used to get other books and you used to just copy the writing out of other books and just write it yourself. And it was a complete waste of time. Why we done it, I don't know. Complete waste of time. But we did do it. And that's how most of us learned to write. And it's a bit of strange. Any of you should remember this. When this will be showing ages. They used to write words. Is it phonetically? Phonetically is the words? When you were very, very young. So the words are actually written slightly different. Yeah, Tracy said we all did it. Slightly differently. And then as you went from infants into what do you call it? What was it? It was nursery, infants. And then it was something else. I always totally got this that long ago since I was at school, where the words went to the correct spelling after that. They all went to the correct spelling after that. And yeah, that was something that happened when I was at school. I'd never really see the point of it, to be honest with you, because if you're teaching someone to read, just teach them the right way the first time. Don't, I get it, the word, I forgot that, it's gone out of my head now, I'm sure I just said it. But breaking down a word and saying it, spelling it how you would say it, would help you and stuff like that. But, yeah. So, anyway, moving back on, going on about me when I was at school. Jesus, my memory of school's in black and white. It's that long ago. So the mimicry he put down to his autism. So Liverpool John Moore University previously investigated the allegations and did not uphold a finding of plagiarism, probably down to that. But news now is that Cambridge has since launched another investigation. Really? Did you only just decide to launch this investigation? What was that? Because of the press got hold of it? So, but yes, guys, as I say, I am not calling it plagiarism. I'm not calling him a plagiarist. I don't know if it is for you listeners out there who are free to think and say what you like when you're not on air. And I've got to try my best to be very, very balanced. When it's a story about me, and I say something which is fact to me, then it is fact, and I will say it blatantly out there. This is fact. This is what happens, and that is where we are going with it. That is where we are going with it. So, yes, so I am not calling him a plagiarist. I'm just saying Cambridge has since launched another investigation, and it could be completely coincidental with the fact it's all over the press and on social media. And I have seen some images on social media which I have absolutely cracked up on. It is the sort of reason why I come to this story, because I think there was one where someone put him as, what's his name? Was it Bobby Moore? He put him in place of Bobby lifting the World Cup. Was it Bobby Moore on the shoulders of the England players when they lifted the World Cup? I can't remember. Or was it Nobby Stark? I can't really remember now. I can't really remember. But they put his face on that image, and then there's untold images that have gone on where they've put his face on it. Now I shouldn't laugh, because this guy could be completely innocent, and it all could be, Bobby Moore. I was just saying, it was Bobby Moore, and so there was that image. And there was, what's the film? We Are Sparta. We Are Sparta? Where he kicks the person down into the big hole. There was one from that as well. And as I said, there was just things that kept popping up over the last week. And I was thinking, what is going on here? What is this all about? And then I realised, I went, 300, yes. The film 300. Yes, and that is a brilliant film, I've got to say. I don't know, I've sort of drifted off there to 300. It is factual film. Could we say that 300 was based on facts, but was for entertainment value? Things were added to it. Maybe what's going on here? I don't know. Sorry, I had to have a sip of drink because of, as most of you know, yes, I can talk for an hour without a problem. But the voice does get dry up. It does dry up, so I've got to keep the voice moist. Oh, the voice moist. There's a new saying, isn't there? I've kept the voice moist. Yeah, based on history, the 300 is true. So, you could fact check that, and it's probably happened. But did it happen how the film happened? I don't know. I don't think there was film cameras around in them days, but maybe. Or any cameras. But then looking at some of the things that have been going on in the news and you look at these Egyptian pictures and stuff like that, where you're looking at them, the carvings into the monuments and all that, and some of them look like they've got mobile phones and stuff. So it is possible. It is possible that we might find an ancient camera one day with images of Sparta. Sparta. We are Sparta. Right. But anyway, back to this story. So we've got the things where I'm not accusing him of being a plagiarist. As your decision. Someone has compared the documents, found very large numbers of similarities, and university are now being asked to establish exactly what happened. So they are going to do that. And there's another interesting twist. Aliens, yeah. Aliens. Oh, come in. Yes, and you meant the lands. See, we're going off somewhere else. We'll go on to that in a minute. We'll talk about aliens and the Sphinx in a minute. Well, if we get there, bloody hell. Oh, sorry, didn't mean to swear there. We've been nearly talking about this for 50 minutes, guys. 50. God, I can go on, can I? God. So anyway, sorry about this, guy. Anyone that listens to me on any other show, I play music. So if I flash up on your Twitch or on not YouTube, I can't play YouTube music. Twitch or Mixcloud or the radio shows, yes, I'm actually playing music. This is just once a week for an hour where we get together as friends and just have a chat. So as I say, we'll broadcast live on Reach On Air on the radio. Yes, I've got the swear jar coming again. And, regular now. It's going to be regular, guys. I am trying my best to keep it as regular as I can. And I'm aiming to keep it at 8 o'clock every Tuesday evening. And I'm hoping you're enjoying it. I really hope you're enjoying it. And as I say, normally we talk about a lot more subjects, but this is something that I have just found absolutely fascinating this week. Just fascinating. So as I say, you can also watch this on Twitch, Mixcloud, and there will be a recording of the show, a live. Well, it's playing live on YouTube now, but I will do an edited version if you'd rather wait for that and get that on there. Yes, swear jars, swear jars. It's the curse of me. It's the curse of me, swear jars. Right, someone compared the document. And there's another interesting twist. Just a twist. For years, the story was that Arday couldn't speak until he was 11. Now, this is the problem with certain things. If you're not 100% careful, Gary, can prove it. Because he couldn't speak to his 11, that's become a central part of his inspirational story and was repeated in media coverage. Yes, it was repeated in media coverage, all over the media coverage. But that account has now also been challenged by a person claiming to have known Arday at school, who disputes the description of his speech at that age. You just can't make this up. You just can't make this up, guys. And as I say, in case someone is making it up, and I've been fooled myself, I've got to say, Jason Arday, I am not accusing you of anything. I am just repeating what is out there. What is out there. So yes, apparently someone who knew him before he was 11 is challenging him on that point. Is absolutely challenging him on that point. It's a challenge, not proof, that the childhood story was false. That is what I'm being told to say by Tinternet to make sure I don't get myself in trouble. That's the problem with doing stuff. I have to say, is Denzel going to play him in a biofilm? Wow, mate, I don't think Denzel could do all of that. It just wouldn't be believable, Denzel. And Denzel is absolutely fantastic, and I love him to bits. But do you think he could not split to play the role? He could do mute to the age of 11, not being able to read and write to the age of 18, becoming a college professor, and then running marathons, 600 miles in 6 days, getting all these exams from these universities, just discriminated against him maybe and just said, we don't know who the hell you are. We don't know who the hell you are. But of course no charity would deny it. Well, no charity would deny they know him, would they? Charity needs all the exposures they can get. For the exception of WaterAid, apparently. Who said, we don't send people overseas. And then we get the 1 in 100 billion chance of the feces. I'm careful not to say feces. Feces. Matching that closely to someone else's. Sorry. Some of you might just, as I say, might be still sitting there thinking, Gary or Big G, whatever the hell you want to call me, what is going on with this story? Why are you going to... I am just absolutely fascinated by it. That a top university in this country, this has happened to. And they didn't check. Now, it's for you to decide why you think they didn't check and why you think they championed him so much that he was put onto the television and become the poster boy and all that. That is for you to decide why they would want that to happen. But they did. Is he friends with Meghan Markle? Or the charity shoot? Yes. Or the charity Meghan Markle's done as well. Didn't she do MasterChef or something recently in Australia? Meghan? Oh, we do love our Meghan. But yes, we won't talk about Meghan. That's not fair. But that would be an amazing conversation between Jason Arday and Meghan Markle. You'd love to be a fly on the wall for that one, wouldn't you? You'd absolutely love to be a fly on the wall for that conversation. Maybe they can go on Oprah and do it. So they're saying there's also early support in the broad story of his significant childhood speech and development difficulties. So once again, we're not declaring it debunked. As I say, for legal reasons, I have to say that. But apparently someone knows him. Someone knows him and said that. Now, so we're saying that one of the most remarkable parts of the story, Piers Morgan as well, Piers Morgan show. I'm starting to feel like Piers Morgan. I feel like I'm sadly tearing this poor chap apart. But I'm not. Honestly, Jason, if you happen to be listening to my little radio show or watching me on YouTube, Twitch, or Mixcloud, I'm not having a go, mate. If you can tell us this is all true, I am happy to listen, my friend. I am happy to listen. And I'll actually let you send in your version and let you speak live on this show, watched by probably about 5 people. But yes, you could do it. So, right, I'm starting to run out of time now. Right, we're saying even one of the most remarkable parts of the story is now being questioned. So yes, so that's what we're saying about the speech impediment. Now, I've got to say, this couldn't happen to a nicer guy. James O'Brien of LBC fame. I don't know what your opinion of him is. I used to like him, but he ain't stopped banging on about Brexit for the past 10 years. So I'm like, I can't listen to him no more. So, yeah. Right, so James O'Brien, who defended Jason Arday and had him on his show. Done an interview with him. And then he eventually looked at the allegation, actually. And he's looked at the whole thing, he's checked it all out. And James O'Brien has said, this is his statement, I feel like a mug. James O'Brien's words, not mine. I feel like a mug. Now, we know James O'Brien would investigate everything before he said it, wouldn't he? So why didn't he do that in the first place, before he decided to interview him on a radio show? James. So, if we come from that, so James O'Brien now feels like he's a mug. Sorry, guys, the time is really running away from here. So then we've got, this is interesting to why Cambridge University might have stopped all of this. But there's a reporter called Jack Grove of Times Higher Education. So he's not the Sun or the Mirror or anything. He's Times Higher Education. Was investigating Arday's academic record. Grove said, I'll call you Jack. Jack Grove said he was reported to police for alleged harassment after contacting Arday with questions. Yes, what do reporters do? They ask questions. He wasn't charged with any offence. He was just reported to the police. But surely after asking questions is rather an important part of journalism, yes. I would say definitely. So now we've got to go. Right, so we've got 3 minutes left. What? So I better say, just in case, just to run out, stick around after me, DJ Johnny will be around at 10 o'clock till midnight. 10 o'clock, and I think Alan Ross is on from midnight till 1. So I'll put that on for Reach on here. So, yes. So where is Jason today? Jason Arday resigned from Cambridge with immediate effect. His explanation was not an admission of wrongdoing. He said the accusation and speculation has taken a profound toll on him and those he loved, and he needed time to heal. So he has walked away while the investigations were still continuing. And that is important. There is still no final university verdict established that all of the allegations against him are true. Which brings us back to the original subject, which is a bit late now to bring it back to the original subject, because that whole story was for us to have a subject about people who can bend the truth. So yeah, guys, I just thinking, what did you actually think of Jason Arday's story? So yes, I think Piers Morgan might get hold of him. The conversation between him and Meghan Markle would end up on Oprah Winfrey. I think, yes, the swear jar will be out in force. Oh, Celebrity Big Brother or The Jungle. Celebrity Big Brother. There's a shout. Now there is a shout. Celebrity Big Brother or The Jungle. Now that would be absolutely fascinating. But maybe he's already been in The Jungle. And on Celebrity Big Brother, maybe he's already been. It might be on his CV. I haven't read that far. He did do TV appearances, so maybe he has been in The Jungle and done that. Maybe Strictly Come Dancing as well. Allegedly, he could have done that. Saturday Night TV. Yes, he's on his way because he's having a break from his job. He just needs a break to recharge, and then I'm sure he will pop up somewhere else. With that backstory, he will definitely pop up somewhere else. God. Britain's Got Talent, yes. What could he do? I was going to say water sports there, but that can be taken a different way. Yes, fit in as many things of water taps in a record time, maybe. Running, the quickest. Running faster, not the Mo Farah, what's his name? Oh, the fastest man in the world, quickly, he's got out of my head. Oh. But anyway, guys, we are going to have to leave it there, I'm afraid. And all I can say is a massive, massive thank you for you listening to me rattling on for the last hour. And as I say, guys, I absolutely love doing this. And I hope you do too. And as I said, Usain Bolt, that was it. Thank you, Usain Bolt. The fasting. But I think Jason might have beat him in a race at university. It is possible. It is possible. Yes, good evening, Jason Hughes. So, guys, if you are listening to me here on Twitch or Mixcloud, I will be back at 10 o'clock on my other station, and there will be music and laughter, and it won't be such a serious show. So I'll be back at 10 o'clock tonight. And fingers crossed all that goes well. So it's a little bit madder than this show. So again, guys, thank you so much. I will be back next Tuesday, same time, 8 p.m. here on Reach On Air. And if it's all recorded, Twitch, YouTube and Mixcloud. So till next time, guys, take care. Yes, guys, that is Voyager. Not Voyager. God, I'm getting the stations wrong. I've left Voyager, haven't I? Yes, that's the show. Finished on Reach On Air. And again, a massive, massive thank you for joining me for this. It is very, very different from what we normally do. And if you've never heard me before, you've listened to me chat, maybe you want to hear me play some music and have a laugh and joke with you. If you didn't find this funny, maybe have a little bit of a laugh and joke with you. So I'll be back on here, back on Twitch, back on Mixcloud, not on YouTube, guys. So if you are watching on YouTube, make sure you come over to Twitch or Mixcloud or Dynamic Radio. Dynamic Radio you can look at. So, yes. Can I strip? Jason wants me to strip. Really, Jason? Me? Of course I can. Of course I can. With or without the cowboy hat, mate. With or without. But anyway, guys, I'm going to have a little break because of things. I just need a bleeding break. And as Roy knows what I'm going to do. Roy knows what I'm going to do for the next hour. Who's out there? So, fingers crossed. Okay, guys. Right. Hopefully, see you in an hour. Jason, son, I hope to see you in an hour, mate. I hope to see you in an hour for some fun and giggles on Dynamic Radio. And as I say, it'll all be here on Twitch or Mixcloud. So I'm going to cut off for now. Right, guys, take care of yourselves if I don't see you later. Hopefully I will see you next week if you're not going to see you later. Yes, Jason, you know me too well as well. Take care, guys. See you in a bit.